Hey, guys. I'm not sure. There you go.
How you doing? How you
Everybody,
doing?
can everybody hear me okay?
Yes,
Thumbs
sir.
up.
Yes, sir.
Can y'all hear me okay? Yep. Okay, perfect. Give you one more minute. Hope you guys are having a great day. We're certainly having a spectacular week. We've had some really large fundings this week. Just funded a 400,000. Some agent's going to get a lot of commissions, a lot, and probably their upline, and then getting ready to do a 500,000 and should have a 250. So there's a lot going on. Y'all have to forgive me. I had to go to the doctor with my eye here. I mean, I don't know what, I got an infection or something. I don't know what the deal is, but all I know is that I took all my notes, about 5 pages of them. And guess what? They're still at home because I was hurrying to go to the doctor. So this is going to be a much shorter a review than I anticipated. I'm just going to it may only be 15 minutes, and I'll take any kind of questions that you have. But I apologize for that. And we'll do like a part A this week, and then next week I'll do a part B and really dive into the rate side of this thing. But our number one priority absolutely is getting the client approved before anything. We don't worry about rates. We don't worry about anything. Let's get them approved. And without getting them approved, rates or nothing like that really matters. So we try to get them the maximum amount that they can possibly achieve right off the bat. And sometimes because of the file being complicated, or because there's multiple positions there, we're having to really, sometimes it'll take more than the afternoon. It may take another day. And it's just the way it is. And sometimes when I get a great offer, and I know it is, I don't wait for all those other lenders to get back to me if it's going to take them 2 or 3 days to get back. We just go ahead and move on. We very on every file, regardless if they ask or not, we try to get them a line of credit as well. Those are hard to come by right now, especially for construction, real estate, and trucking. You're not going to get lines of credit at this juncture in time, but hopefully that'll open back up. And we always try to get them the very best rates that we can. If the client can qualify for a bank loan, it is our job when we're talking to them about our offer to let them know these are not bank loans. There are no monthly paybacks. These are non-collateralized signature funding, which means if they tell us, hey, stick it after one payment or no payments or a month, then really, what are you going to do? You're going to go file a UCC filing. You may, if it's a large enough deal, then you will, of course, file suit against them. But it just gets nasty, and we try to avoid that. Matter of fact, we almost never have to do that, because if someone's paying 1,000 a week and they're having problems, guys, all we ever do is contact them and say, hey, listen, I know you're having problems, but let's don't let this thing get out of control and ugly. Send us $200 a week until you get called back up. And we work with these people day in and day out to make sure that it occurs and they stay on task. But again, if a client is looking for bank rates and you have told them some crazy stuff, and I know that none of you on here would, but there are agents and brokers out there that are saying, crazy stuff like, yeah, we can probably get you, 15% or 13%. We lost a really large account because not because of our rate, because our rate went that much more. It came out to about 18.9% annually. But the broker had them convinced they're going to get single digit funding. Heck, man, nobody makes money. That single digits, that's you make that much off of it. So how can we expect a a lender partner to make any money off of these high risk lending fund deals. And remember, these are all, I don't care what your credit is, these are all very high risk. When there's no collateral involved, if you give someone $10,000 and you got them paying back, let's say 13.5, and they only make one payment, do you know how many deals it takes? It takes at least 5 to 9 deals for that client, for that lender to make up that loss. So it's very high risk for them. Lenders have certain business types that they love the best. The A lenders are going to love anything out there that has multiple deposits on a monthly basis, like retail. They love retail in the A lending space. They love manufacturing and they love restaurants. They love all this, but not so much trucking or construction. That's where the B and C lenders come in play, and all the B and C lenders love manufacturing, all the things we said, but they also love construction, anything in construction, such as plumbing, heating, all that type of business, paving. And they love it because there's great volumes in it, and you can get some of the best offers out there on these high volume folks that have at least 3 different deposits every single month. Our goal is to provide a very fair offer. We do have a best offer guarantee, and we can beat every offer. But here's the deal, guys. Let's say that someone says, "Well, I got an offer from so and so, and they're going to give me a 1.25." Well, I know that's a lie. I know that's not true. And if it's so out of line, we say, "Well, go ahead and get it funded. Once you get it funded, send us the contract, and then we'll at that point we will make good on our guarantee." I already know what the buy rates are throughout the entire industry. You're not going to get better buy rates than you're going to get with the A lenders. It's just not going to happen. But almost all these lender partners give us these buy rates that they would give anybody else, minus a couple of points because of who we are. And that's why we can make the guarantee. I know that if someone's going in a 1.45 rate, and I will always be able to come in at a 1.42 no matter what. The biggest problem we have with rates is whenever the broker misunderstands what type of funding we have here. And these are very, very, very high risk fundings. And let's say that the person has incredible credit. I mean, A+ credit, but they got 4 positions out there, or 3. You can't give someone, you kind of almost have to discount the credit side of things, because now they got 4 positions. And let's say 3 of those positions total 100,000, and another position is another 25. So they got 125,000 worth of funding out there. You need to understand, when they get their offer from us, or really anybody else, but let's just use us for right now, and they've got 125,000 already out on the street that they're making payments on, we have to take that amount in consideration away from what we would normally give them. So if we would normally give them 200,000, they're probably only going to get 75,000 now. And that's just the way this industry works. You can't get upset with us, and this is happening more than it should, where you're upset with us because you feel like we're gouging the person at a rate. Listen, we don't gouge anybody. We give them our best rate with our experience, we understand where they're going to go and what they're going to get out there. But you need to also understand that if we cut rates in half, then your commission is going to be cut at least in half, because we don't make as much money. So when we get a buy rate and we add our points on, we have to add those on based on knowing that you got to get paid, we got to make a little bit of money. David Allen Capital has got to make a little bit of money, and we pay most of the money to you. I mean, a majority of it goes out to you and your entire organization upline. So that's the reason that I try not to lower rates. Often, I mean, more times than you can imagine, brokers, agents from DAC call me and they say, or email me and say, just cut it as low as you can. I just need this deal to be amped up. Well, I'll be honest with you, I can't worry whether you're amped up or not. That's not my issue because I don't work for David Allen Capital. Bank Breeze is a separate company. We have to worry about, number one, to make sure David Allen Capital stays flush and we getting enough out of that funding to cover what should be on a funding like this. And we understand also the risk involved that is being taken by the lender partners that we have. Every one of these lender partners take a risk on that because they're having to pay not only put the money out there, but they're also having to pay the commission so that we can pay David Allen Capital who pays you. So I just want you guys to understand when it comes to rates, we got you covered. I know that we can sometimes do better than we do, but there's risk factors in there, and we may have 10 points on the deal and have to slash it to 7 to make this work. But did that yesterday on a renewal, we had to slash it a lot, or the guy wasn't going to renew. He was just going to wait and let the loan pay out, the funding pay out over the next 8 months. So we did slash it. So that agent wound up getting a funding on a 50,000 that was worth 30-some thousand because we had to slash it. But if we hadn't have done that, then there would not be a funded deal. So we understand that, and we take all that in consideration, and we really are looking out for you when it comes to rates, and we're looking out for the lender, number one, because they're our partners and we got to be a good partner to them. But I would like to, since I didn't bring all my notes, I'd like to see if there's any rate questions that you guys have that you'd like for me to go over. Anything to do with the underwriting process to get that rate, or anything to do with the types of businesses and why are they so, why are all the rates so expensive? I will tell you right now, and we went over this a week ago, in the trucking industry, we got 3 lenders that are our partners. And they gave me their numbers. One of them had 48% default rate. I'm talking about on trucking on all their files. Doesn't mean they default right away. It just means they never went through and paid the contract in full. One had in the mid-50s and one was 63%. So they're no longer going to do, those 3 lenders are no longer going to do trucking. And trucking is really an easy, not easy, it's a simpler business to talk to. They want money, they always can use it and need it, and we're not discouraging you from getting it, but understand they're going to pay substantially higher than what a restaurant's going to pay. So you should never sell on rate. And if someone asks you, what's this going to cost me, you simply say, hey, we're not a bank. These are not going to be bank rates. If you can go to the bank and you can get funded, that's what you need to do today. And they're going to 100% of them have already tried the bank, I can promise you. And or either they know they can't go to the bank and get the money. But that's what we're telling them, is we're not a bank. If you can go there, get the money from the bank, these are very high risk, non-collateralized funding. And because of that, you could tell us to stick it in a month, and that's why you're paying a premium for the money. But the question is, are the funds that you're getting and the use of them going to be worth the cost of the funds? And every business person understands that. I really love working with files from Nick or either Matt Duhane, because I know that they've discussed with them in detail about what are they going to do with the funds. And see, that's such an important conversation that a lot of brokers never have. You don't have Nick or Matt ever submitting a deal that they haven't spoken to the person. They don't do online marketing. They call people, they get them on the phone, discuss their situation, and there's many of you that do that. But those are just 2 right offhand. We just had one with Nick this morning, construction person in California, which is a very rule-based legislative, do this, do that, sign docs here, do it this way kind of a state. And you got to be careful how you present them and what you say. But this person's doing, I mean, literally tens and tens and tens of thousands a month worth of revenue. But their credit is so bad that I don't even think they could get credit to go buy a pack of cheese crackers. And we got them $10,000, and that 10,000, and I spoke to the lady just a few minutes ago, and what she's going to do is take this to earn her credit with us. So that, I mean, like next week, she gets a big chunk of money in, or the week after, she's going to pay 5,000 of it right away. And these are the kind of things that we do for you behind the scenes that I know you don't really realize and know that we're doing. But know this, we're not ever quote unquote gouging people, but we know what the industry standard for that particular industry should be. And I want you to make maximum commissions every single time on a deal. And I will never, ever, ever fund someone and we know it's going to hurt them. If they don't feel like they're better off after meeting us than they were before meeting us, then meeting us was a bad thing, and we don't want that to ever occur. It's funny. I read some of the reviews that, and we have very few that are bad. If you go look at the reviews that are negative, they're all truckers. And the reason is truckers are getting bad, really high rates. Except the trucking company that I funded last year for 300,000, we got them in the high threes, 139, I think. And we've also funded that 300,000. We renewed them on like a 280 some or 190 some, and I think we're getting ready to do another 200,000 with them. So understand, if you ever have a consideration about rates and it bothers you, pick up the phone and call us or send me an email and I'll call you and explain to you how to get over that. So do we have anybody that we can answer some questions for? I really apologize. I had to jot down these right quick. I've been here a long time. I had to run by the doctor and I left all those notes. So I really want to do a much better, more professional job next week talking about rates and one other secret little thing we're going to tell you about next week that I'm not going to talk about right now. So
yep, I can.
Morgan, are you here helping me, or do I?
Yes, I am.
Somebody on helping me take these questions?
Yes, I am on, and
Can't hear anybody. I hear somebody talking.
Oh, can you turn
I
up your?
can't hear you.
Turn up your volume.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and take the masters.
Hopefully he can hear you, Matt, because
We can't hear you at anything you're saying. I can't hear anything you're saying.
I am now unmuted. Wade, can you hear me now? Are we good?
I'm going to call
Morgan.
him. I'm going to call him. I think
you're
his
muted. I
volume's
can't hear
down.
anything you're saying.
Hold on.
Uh-oh, you calling me? Okay. Hello. Oh, hey. Have y'all been hearing me the whole time?
Yes.
Turn. Well, yeah, it's way up.
No worries.
Matt, can you talk?
I can. And
Yeah, I hear
I'll
Matt
just,
perfectly fine.
oh, perfect. Okay. So I'll just say this, take care of your eye, man.
I
Take
just
care of
can't hear
yourself.
Morgan.
No worries.
Hey,
Well,
buddy.
hey, man. So thank you for the good kind words and all that. I mean,
It's true though.
we all should be there. Well, I mean, I've done this for 5 years. I'm doing it full time. I don't know how many folks on here that plug in. They want to, hopefully don't come to get entertained. Come here to get educated and pumped up and motivated to get on either the phone or get out there and talk to these folks directly. But here's what I do to address the funding's too high, big guy thing, what you want to do, which is fine. It's simply this. Would you just go through this mental process? This is really what I do. If anybody wants to take this, I'm like, believe me, God's great, and the Lord gives me all blessings, and I'm nothing without the Lord. Just get it up front. Okay, all these things come because your priorities have to be right in your mind, right? When you go through the day, go through your life, everything's all about priorities. I keep reminding my wife about that. I said, please write it down, make a list, and prioritize, and then everything's going to be fine. Well, one of the things is we want things, but we're not realistic about them. And one of the things you want a deal closed or something, but you're not being realistic about the risk to the lender, which is Wade's addressing that. And so what I do to combat that in my mind before I start talking to anybody about this at all is I say, would I put my own money out there? Would I risk my money? Would I do this? And if I did, would I give it to that business? How much would I charge? So when you go through that mental process, my answer resoundingly is no, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't take that risk. I'm kind of a risk averse kind of person. I'm going to go through the process like, well, all right, if I get double my money back, maybe I'll risk, a 20, 30, what did you say? A 50% default rate with trucking? I think something is important to address. They're going to pay because they're getting a debit from their account and it's already prearranged. It includes interest and principal, by the way. A lot of these people think, oh, I'm just paying interest. They're familiar with a mortgage. I'm not really I'm just paying interest and maybe one day I'll cut down my principal. No. I say, hey, up front, you're paying down your principal with a small interest amount included. And the lender's really not getting their principal back for 8 months, if it's a 10-month term, or 12 months, say, in 9.5 months, they're finally getting their money back. Hopefully you're still in business. Now I switch that apple around. They start thinking differently about it. So the business owner starts realizing, well, yeah, they are risking. Yeah, they're really not getting the money they're giving me back yet for a long period of time. They're not just getting interest in, no, they're not getting their principal back for 80% of the term that they're getting, So in other words, what I do in my mind before you guys get on the phone, say, okay, would I give this hair salon $30,000? And they opened 2 years ago, year and a half ago or something. I'm like, not sure. I'm not sure. Let's see, COVID. Let's think all these other things that could happen. Let's see, could they possibly lock down that sector of our economy? Could this happen? Could the dollar implode? Think about the risk. Oh, this is what I wanted to say, Wade, and I'll jump off. I mean, I'm just, talking out loud, just thinking out loud here. This is what it's all about. Okay, so look at the big macroeconomic picture, guys. Think about it. What's the guarantee that the dollar is going to have any value in 12 months from now? Anybody? Do you realize what's happening geopolitically? There is a flight from the dollar right now, globally, internationally. If I was, I hope one of our lenders isn't listening to this, but I'm telling you, it's even more of a higher risk to put good money, say just good money, first and best use money, because that's what it is. First, best use of those funds out there and hopefully getting it back later. Now, what is it worth if the dollar loses 30% of its value? I live in a country where, and guys don't think it can't happen here. Can't happen here, right? Tell the Germans that for Weimar Republic. Tell Venezuela. Tell these countries that their currency can implode, right? It can happen. And there's another added risk for these lenders. So just get it through your head. You're putting them in touch with people that have real money. This isn't the Federal Reserve, or bank credit, credit book entry money they create out of thin air, right? And then, collect in taxes later. This is actual money. Pools or queues of money. This is how I got it right in my mind. So I don't have a problem with the rate or this cost of funds at all because of this. And so this is my mental process. Okay, so they have money. They've earned it. They've done something to obtain this money. This is real capital. This isn't invented money. It's real. It's like a pile of gold or something. All right. It's an asset and they're going to risk it and they're going to get a return on that risk in a period of time. And it's not instant. And there's a high risk with a very unstable economy like we have. So all of these things equating into in your mindset, it's like, this is really, really good for the business owner. And this is really ridiculously high risk for the lender. So I'm not trying to say, oh, they're going to make money. They're going to pay us. There's a lot of liability associated with this type of lending. So get that straight. And that's what I do. That's all.
Thank you, buddy. I really appreciate that. We had a file that in healthcare, they gave us 150,000 over 18 months at a 1, 2, 3, giving us 10 points. So that they're going to make 13. They're going to make 13 on that deal over 18 months. I called David and I said, these people are crazy. There's no way that I would put my money out and do it at that rate. It was a solid file. They understood it. But that same lender gave me our sell rate had to be around a 1.4 or 1.45 over 9 months on another file. So they have done this so long, they understand, and I promise you, we're not out there trying to gouge anybody. We're just trying to protect everybody, including the lender. So Joe, I think you're next. Thank you, Matthew.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you for taking my question. Mine's gonna be a real simple. I jumped on, you might have already talked about this, but I just jumped on just a little while ago when you were talking about getting this one person that had bad credit and you got it done. My only question is, if somebody's got a bankruptcy on their credit, is it something feasible that is that something can be overcome, or is that something it kills the deal right then and there?
It's dead if it's in the last 5 years.
Last 5 years.
Unless it's a reorganization, like a Chapter 11 or for business or a personal, what have you. If it's a personal bankruptcy that was discharged and you got out of bankruptcy, that's a whole different ballgame. But when you go to a Chapter 13, Chapter 7, whatever, you're not going to, well, Chapter 13 is reorganization, but Chapter 7, you're not going to get funded if it's within 5 years, unfortunately.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. No other questions. Look, guys, I really appreciate you jumping on. I'm going to have you a really spectacular training next Wednesday. I can't wait for it. I am so sorry I left my notes, but hopefully we covered enough that gave you a little bit of information. I really appreciate you being on. Thanks, guys. Have a great one.